Ladies and gentlemen of NASA, this is Charles Xavier. Help is on the way.
We're doing space missions now. Cool.
We get the astronauts, we bring them home. Go.
The heat signature's rising fast.
We gotta get out of here.
Where's Jean?
Where is she? Jean!
She should be dead.
Did you hear what the kids are calling you? Phoenix.
Hello, Jean.
Who are you?
The better question is, who are you?
Something's happening to me. When I lose control, bad things happen. But it feels good.
That power destroyed everything it ever came into contact with. Until you. The X-Men fear you. And what they fear,
We seek to destroy.
She'll kill us all.
The girl dies. She's still our friend.
She's not Jean anymore.
Are you threatening me?
That's right.
That would be a bad idea.
Right, welcome back everyone. My name is Gillis the Kid. I'm here again with another review. This time it's a little bit different. We just saw X-Men Dark Phoenix. Came out this year, 2019. And the first X-Men movie came out in 2000.
19 years.
So 19 years ago. What is it, like 9? It's like the 9th X-Men movie. And the 10th if you count like the Deadpool.
Wait, but there's already 2 Deadpools.
There was 2 Deadpool movies. Technically he wasn't an X-Men, but
I don't know why he's in the list.
Yeah, he did work with the X-Men though.
Okay.
So this movie, it stars the like the same original X-Men. So you got what's his name? James McCoy, Michael Fassbender, Sophie Turner, and Jennifer Lawrence, just to name a few. And Sophie Turner, she's well known for the Game of Thrones series. She played Sandra Stark. But so what did you think? What did you think about this movie?
I guess they made this movie to make those cartoon fanatics happy.
Yeah, I mean, it followed Marvel.
Yeah, like the actual book, the comic book.
Yeah, and then it followed like the rest of the X-Men movies. But the only thing is, I was expecting more.
Yeah.
Like more battles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it starts off in the 70s. Was it like 1975?
Yeah.
Jean Grey, she's driving along.
8 years old.
Was she
9.
8 years old?
Yeah, 8,
Yeah.
9.
So yeah, about 8 or 9 years old. She's driving with her parents.
They're off somewhere.
Yeah, I guess they were like going through the woods or something like that. Wherever they were driving. Yeah. Then her powers
They were fighting over the radio station.
Yeah.
The mom was like, after this one. So she flipped off.
She tried to turn the radio station, and then that's when her powers start to take over. She made her mom pass out, and they drove right into oncoming traffic. So her mom died, and you didn't see too much of her dad toward the end. We'll get to that in a minute. And then they showed where she meets Professor Charles Xavier. And then she goes to
his school.
It was like the gifted school that the X-Men live at. And so then they showed some aliens
Yeah, but
Was that?
after that, they fast forward to Jean Grey being older, and they had to do the space mission because
Right.
the spaceship. What was it?
It was just
1992 something.
yeah,
like that?
1992. It was just like an ordinary space shuttle mission,
Mm-hmm.
and
They
something
blamed
happened.
a solar flare.
Yeah, they thought
And
it
it
was.
was stuck in mid-space.
All right.
And then the president called Professor X.
Mm-hmm. They thought it was a solar flare.
Yeah, that was. I mean, who would know?
Right. So
And
the
then
president.
Hank was like, "No, this ship is not for."
Yeah. The president
space.
asked Charles Xavier to go into space
To save these guys.
and help the astronauts. The only thing, though, what was that plane called? I should know this because I was a fan of like the 90s X-Men comics. It was the something Berg. I think it was like the X-Berg or something like that.
We'll figure it out.
But the jet, Hank was asking him, like, is it going to make it?
No, Hank knows it's not really gonna make it because he's building it. He said he built it for speed, not for altitude.
Right.
So what they did was they used the speed to get out of the atmosphere, which Hank did not design it for.
Yeah, because I was wondering how they went that high
It was speed.
in the jet. Oh, and they had no
Yeah.
they had no helmets
well,
on
they're
either.
X-Men. Come on. You saw how that Quicksilver had to tape. What's that guy's name? The one that shift from place to place.
That was Nightcrawler. He put the helmet on. Yeah.
He had to tape the helmet and all that stuff on him.
So the astronauts, they're stuck in the shuttle.
Mhm.
They're spinning in orbit. And Cyclops, he had to blast
engine
one
to
of the
stop it.
engines to slow it down.
Because it was like one of the engine was dead, and it was only one running. So they're like,
Right. Because they sent
Spinning lights
Nightcrawler.
on.
Nightcrawler was the only one that could actually
zap in and out.
go
of it.
in and pull the astronauts
The
out.
problem with Nightcrawler is he has to know where he
He has to see inside first.
and he has to imagine exactly where he transports to or something. Because
Right.
like when I first saw him in one of the old movies, he's like, I can't do that. What if I get stuck in a
Stuck
building?
in the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I remember
stuck in
that.
the wall. So he was like, it's too fast. I don't know where to zap. So they had to shoot the engine down. It slowed down, and who did he bring? He took the fast guy,
He got
Quicksilver,
he took Quicksilver with him.
and they
and
saved everybody in that.
They got 4 of the
shuttle.
astronauts.
Uh-huh.
And then that's when she said like the captain is still
Yeah.
in there.
He was trying to fix the engine part, so he had to go back in, and then the sun flare was like trying to absorb the ship, so they had like 30 seconds
It was
left.
ripping it apart.
Yeah.
So then he had to that's when Nightcrawler had to take Jean Grey to hold it together.
Yeah. And then they couldn't make it in time because it was already swallowing the spaceship up.
So for those of you who don't know, the Dark Phoenix, and I was looking at this back when like Infinity War came out. So the Dark Phoenix ranks like in the top 10 of the most powerful beings in a Marvel universe. So, you know, she's like powerful than anyone on Earth.
Well, this movie showed how powerful she was. I'm like, it's not only on Earth that she was powerful, it's like even these aliens that came to Earth. Because there was, with this solar flare, it had like this certain power that it's like all of it went into Jean Grey.
Right. Yeah, because part of her powers is absorbing stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess it got drawn to her.
Because of the power she has.
Yeah.
And the aliens were like, we were chasing after this for a long, long time. And now you have it.
Yeah, and then it exploded. Smith was her
Yeah,
name,
she was after it so bad because it exploded their planet and they're chasing after it, trying to control it.
But she never told you where her planet was, though.
No. But at first when they came out, I thought, oh look, it's Groot.
Yeah, yeah. All the aliens look
they
like
look like
Groots.
Groot.
Yeah.
But then they changed them.
What did they have, like regeneration powers?
They don't die. You can't call them bulletproof.
They definitely weren't bulletproof.
Because you can see the bullet go in. Oh, it's just like Wolverine. It's regeneration.
Yeah.
But they never died.
Right. So then the shuttle explodes. They think Jean is dead, but Nightcrawler rescues her.
Yeah, because the solar flare, it explodes the spaceship, and then it shatters everything, and then suddenly all of it goes into Jean Grey, and there's even no sign of the spaceship after it.
No,
it's only her.
Yeah, it exploded.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So then they get rewarded by the president. Charles Xavier, he's trying to, keep the alliance together.
Oh, he was trying to keep these X-Men or superpower kids free from being called weirdos and crazy.
Yeah.
Remember the first part, Gifted is just a nice name to call weird and crazy.
Right.
Like weird, crazy.
Right. Yeah, so after that
wait, so that's when Raven was like, no, you're doing this for yourself.
Yeah, they had a disagreement because Professor Charles Xavier was getting rewarded. He was on the cover of like magazines and stuff, so he was sort of like famous now.
And she even got to the point like, women are saving men's asses. We should call it X-Women.
Yeah, we should call it X-Woman.
Yep.
Yeah. So then that's when they have the party.
That's normal when you don't understand. That's where the disagreement comes. I mean, Jean Grey also didn't understand Professor X in the beginning, but after a while, she realized that he was doing it to save her.
Right.
And then she was like, I know what to do now. Yeah. Save family.
Yeah. So then they had a party. On out in the woods. This is while Professor X was with the president doing his he was thank you speech, shaking everybody's and then the kids were having their party. He was at the White House.
I
think it was. Then that's when they had I think the alien took the form of that one lady that was having a party.
Remember the dog was barking out.
Yeah,
so
she went out to check the dog. And that's when the alien, I guess it killed her. The Groots.
Yeah. The Groots took their form.
They just like, what did they do to your stomach? Like, yeah.
And then the thing about Smith is, remember the dad part? She's twisted Jean Grey's dad's stomach to get information out of him.
Yeah.
He was like, this is easier when you're not screaming. I guess they killed you
afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
He took the form of that lady at the party. I'm guessing just so she can walk around without suspicion.
Without looking like Groot.
Yeah. And that's when
after that they had the kids at school had this bonfire party, somebody singing in midair, all the lights. And then Jean Grey was like, she already had 3-4 cups of whatever hard liquor she was drinking.
She was drinking shots.
Yeah. And Cyclops wasn't even drinking his, and she's like, I'll take it. 2 more.
Yeah. One thing, why don't they call him Cyclops?
He is Cyclops.
But they always called him Scott. Cyclops is Scott Summers. Yeah. But in the movie, they always call him Scott.
I don't know.
They never.
Scott is shorter.
They never call him Cyclops. Yeah. I always called him Cyclops.
Yeah. So Jean Grey asked him for a dance. Yeah. And then that's when she saw the bonfire, and then she remembers the outer space mission, and then she freaks out again.
To come back to her.
Yeah, she freaks out again, and everybody was like Even she
Yeah, what
passes
was it
out,
like?
too.
It was like a small explosion.
Yeah.
Like she just knocked everybody back.
Even herself.
Yeah.
And then Professor X felt it, and he's like, "Oh, I have to go."
So that's when Beast, or Hank, as you call him, they had her laying down. They were examining her, trying to figure out what was going on.
No, that was done right when they came back from outer space.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
He was like, "Everything's normal except for your DNA. You look pretty stronger than I need a better machine to measure your strength or something."
Yeah, he said he had to make like a more powerful computer.
And then when Jean Grey was passed out in her bed, Professor X was trying to get in her head, and he couldn't do it, so he had to go to that, what do you call that big...
Oh, it was like the cerebral...
Oh, cerebro.
The cerebral room or whatever it is.
Yeah, he had to use that to go into Jean Grey's head, which was easier for him before the solar flare incident. So that's when they found out.
He already knew half of the story.
Yeah, he knew how powerful Jean Grey was going to be. So that's when Raven finds out that Professor X has already been in Jean Grey's head, trying to make her forget the dad, the accident. Professor X is like, "This is what I was saving her from." And then Raven's like, it's the truth. She needs to know.
Well,
some truths are hard to accept.
When she was at her dad's house, right?
She already heard the dad's voice when Professor X was in her head. She was like, "Get out, get out." And then Professor X's nose was bleeding, so he was kicked out of Jean Grey's head. And then she flies off and looks for the dad. She thought it was gonna be...
She know where to find him, though?
It was the old house where they lived.
Oh, her old house.
She was like, "Oh, this looks so familiar." It was exactly
so she must have
like
seen it in her mind, because she never really...
No, this is the part where Professor X was making walls so that she don't remember. But because of the solar flare, she's stronger, and the walls that Professor X built is crushed down because she's so much stronger.
Okay.
So she visits her dad, and she thinks it's gonna be, "Oh, Dad, it's me, blah blah blah, hugs, kisses." Nah. And she started to freak out again when she saw the wall, and none of the pictures were her.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was
afraid.
He didn't know he was mad at her too because his wife died.
Yeah.
So he just blocked it out that he even had a daughter.
And then she freaked out there again. But before she really totally freaked out, Professor X and his team arrived, and the house was shaking, and then the dad was like, stop it, Jean." And she's like, "That's not me. It's
probably
them."
one of the best action sequences in the movie, like when she was fighting her team.
Yeah, that was the part. She flipped 3 police cars over, and that's when everybody was against X-mutants again.
Yeah, she killed the cops.
Even Professor X was like, he was calling the president, and they're like, this line is shut off now.
You can't use this line anymore.
That's so mean. Just because of that, you lose everything. That's what Professor X was trying to avoid.
Yeah.
That's what Raven didn't understand, and also Jean Grey. But after, at least Jean Grey, she understood further in the story, but Raven couldn't.
Right.
Because that's at her dad's place.
Well,
Jean Grey was fighting all the X-Men.
Yeah, she was trying to calm her down.
Raven was trying to calm her down.
And that's when she pushed her, and she got impaled, like on the
wood. It was like a wood that was cracked open. So it's like more when you crack open a wood, it's like all splinters.
Yeah.
So it went through her chest.
She got impaled.
She died.
Right through. Right through.
That's
then,
when she had to run away. And everybody was angry at her. Hank goes to Magneto. Oh, wait. Jean Grey goes
She
to
went
Magneto,
to Magneto
first
yeah.
and asks how to fix it. But she's in a totally different state because she has this alien thing inside her. I mean, Magneto was just angry.
Yeah.
She has something powerful inside of her.
Where was he living at? Like on an island?
Yeah, it was an island. They said it was. He said it was a gift from the government so that these mutants can
maybe like live and just to stay out of the way.
So yeah, Jean Grey visited him there, asked for some advice. He kept on asking, whose blood is that? And she never answered because she knows how angry he would be because Mystique was...
That was like his...
Yeah, best student, I would say.
That was like his protege, really.
Yeah. So she never told him whose blood it was until the military came over with their choppers.
They sent the military there.
And then Magneto was trying to save her. Like, she's not here. And then the military's like, you don't know what she did you?
Right.
And then she comes out, turns the chopper, and then it like
she
went
tore
around,
the blades off.
and it was going at Magneto. This is metal. This is his power, and he couldn't. At least he avoided it,
jerked
but
out of the way.
But it's still it's his specialty. Look how powerful this Dark Phoenix has become. So, and because there were two choppers. The second chopper she was trying to do, and Magneto was like,
"Get on the chopper!
Get on it! I can't hold it anymore." So all the military guys got on, and he just pushed it away.
Just like flung the helicopter out.
And then that's when Magneto tells Jean Grey, "You have to go." And then Jean Grey's like, "I thought you saved mutants," and he's like, "I am from you."
Right. Because he had kids there too. He had to protect.
it's just like how Professor X was saving his kids. He had this whole island of mutants that was just trying to avoid human discrimination.
Discrimination. The military, whatever.
Yeah. So that's when Hank goes missing.
Didn't he take the X? Oh, it was the X-Wing. That's what it was called.
He took the X-Wing to Magneto. And he tells...
He's like, where's the rest of you guys?
Hank tells Magneto Jean killed Raven. And that's when he said, she's dead. She's dead. So they go looking for her. To New York.
Yeah, they went to New York. Because Hank, at that point, he wanted to kill her too.
Yeah, because
well, he felt she was lost.
And he said, like, I was the one that encouraged her to stay. She wanted to leave, but I think it's also self-pity, because if he didn't stop her from leaving, that would have probably not happened.
Right, yeah. Yeah, she wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're in New York. Magneto meets back up with Charles.
And there's another conflict. Magneto wants to kill Jean Grey. Of course, Charles never wants to kill any mutant. So they fight over that.
Oh, he brought Psylocke with him. For those of you who don't know, she's
this is a girl?
Yeah, she was in a couple of X-Men games too.
She's pretty good.
She can control your mind. She's like a master with like knives and stuff like that.
She's pretty good. And then he also brought this long hair Lotus.
Oh, the Red Lotus, yeah. They were all in the Super Nintendo games back in the day.
Yeah. So there was a fight. Oh, wait, we forgot to tell them that Jean Grey went to New York because of the aliens.
Yeah.
The aliens found Jean Grey, and they were like telling her what this superpowers from outer space can do.
Well, the Dark Phoenix, the Force destroyed their planet.
Yes, so this Force can destroy a planet and even make a planet. So what they wanted to do is get that Force to make their planet That's what they were trying to tell her. But in the real run, they wanted to wipe out humans and mutants so they can live in her.
Right.
So they were on the process of transferring the force. Oh wait, yeah, Magneto comes in.
Yeah. Well, Magneto, he wanted to kill her.
Yeah, and she was like, "You wanted to kill me."
And the alien
Sorry.
wanted to take the Dark Phoenix power.
So.
Because she gave her a chance to,
Yeah.
you know, come with her and like, make the planet over again.
But she didn't want to be with us. Just take it. She's like, take it.
Funny thing is, they never told you what planet she was from.
No.
I think they were called Divorce.
Yeah.
Divorce, something like that. But they never exactly told you like what solar system or like what planet.
It must have been far.
I'm not too familiar with that alien race. I don't know if they're in the comic books or something like that, but this was like the first time I heard of those aliens.
They were pretty good. They were strong. I would say Groot again.
Yeah, they all look like Groots.
So they were on the process of transferring this power to this Smith girl. But then Charles sees what's going on, and he's like, "You have to let go, Jean. They're gonna try to kill us. I'll let go."
Yeah. Well, he saw what she was up to.
Yeah.
So he knew if she absorbed the power, she would most likely wipe out
everybody.
Earth and
Yeah.
then like rebuild it.
So then Cyclops comes in and zaps Smith, but Smith had like a little portion of the power in her hand, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Ugh." But Jean still had it all. So they're in a train, all chained up, all the mutants chained up, and these Groots were after them.
Right. And
All
then
of them.
there was the black guy who was like, I guess he was like her right-hand man.
Yeah, he was even in the White House meeting, remember?
Yeah, he took cause he came to the like the incident, that area where they were fighting outside her dad's house. He's like, no civilians. He's like FBI. So they were smart. Like they took the form of like FBI agents.
Yeah, but the leader, I don't know why she got that Smith
Yeah,
form.
She's walking around in high heels.
High heels. I'm like, she's still in her high heels.
You would think they would break after all that.
Oh yeah, like
she's kicking, getting thrown through walls.
If you've seen the first new Jurassic Park movie, the doctor that made all those dinosaur parts, she was in heels the
too.
whole time. Like they were running in mud.
I remember that.
I was like, she's still in her heels. I would have broken that.
Running from dinosaurs.
Running from dinosaurs. Oh, that's exactly like her.
It's funny because like, and the raptors never caught up with them. Like
even in
like
heels.
raptors supposedly can run like 70 miles per hour, but never caught up to them.
They were supposed to be faster than the cheetahs, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So then
at the train.
So then the alien tried to the alien Smith. They finally, I guess they shocked the X-Men. They shocked them.
Well, yeah, at New York, they were all like, they all caught them because they have this bullet thing that would pass aliens out.
Yeah.
But then at the train where not aliens, the mutants out. So the aliens were chasing after the train, and they were like, "Oh, we can handle this." They thought they were mutants, but these things weren't working on them because they weren't mutants.
Right.
They were aliens
from another planet.
And who was it? I think it was Hank that said it. We could help you, but they wouldn't.
No, I don't think you could negotiate with them.
After the first truck was like, I mean, the last.
It was like the cable car. Yeah.
The last car was totally attacked. One guy just unlocked all the mutants.
Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, we don't need your help." And then like all of his guys get taken out. And then he's like, "Oh." Hey, then he rushes to the back and tries to.
And they even have this powerful machine gun, and it's still they still didn't die.
That mounted machine gun, you know. I like when Magneto, he's got all the the machine guns pointed at her, shooting
Yeah,
at her, they're not doing nothing.
I mean, like, it damages their face, but once it, I mean, it's like Wolverine times 100.
Like, yeah.
Because Wolverine it took some time for him to heal.
Yeah.
Them, it was like
they had like a super healing factor.
They had hundred of guns. Magneto had more than 100 machine guns facing at Smith.
Right. What was up with that part where she made Professor X walk up the steps?
Oh,
he's like, no, please stop.
Because she was still angry that part at
like
Professor X.
His feet's all like.
She was angry, and he's like, you know, I can't do that.
I don't know why I thought that was funny though.
And then she was still angry at him, and then he says, look in my head, look what I was thinking, whatever. And then when she does get into his head, he finds out all Professor X was doing was really trying to save her from her dad, because her dad in reality abandoned her and is really, really afraid of her.
Yeah.
And Professor X didn't want her to know because she was 8 years old.
Right.
Who at 8 years old your dad would be afraid of you and won't be looking for you and give you to a stranger? What 8-year-old would understand that?
Well, remember Rogue's parents in that one movie, they were afraid of her too.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a mutant kid, most probably you'll be afraid of her. So, and then she understands that Professor X was really trying to be good, and then she stops. I guess she was trying to rip him apart too, because all his veins were coming out.
Yeah, he's like, oh, his veins
all the
coming
blue,
out of his.
Oh. It's like he couldn't handle it no more. But then when she saw her, whatever was in her head, she.
So then after the train fight. Psylocke got killed too, didn't she? Remember, like, she sliced the alien, then he grabbed her head and threw her out?
They were.
They never showed her again, so I'm guessing she got killed.
She was good though. I like her.
Yeah.
And even though Magneto, all the aliens were in one of the carts. Is it a cart? Cars. One of the cars.
Yeah.
And he smashes the cars inside. So all the aliens were in there.
Yeah, it blew up too.
But Smith comes in, and then Professor X like, wake up, Jean, wake up. We need you. Yeah. And she wakes up and she's like, I know what to do. I know what to do.
Yeah, she put him in that force field. Then the train crashes, and then the aliens. They were pretty scary when they ran after you.
They were running at her. They were running at her. They weren't even afraid. And like, remember at New York, she was like, they know who I am, and they're not afraid.
Right.
Because Jean can't read the minds of these aliens. That's why she was asking.
Right.
So when Jean woke up at the train scene, they were after her.
Right.
I guess they really, really wanted that powers that's inside of her, no?
Yeah.
So they were running, and she's like, and they just blow up.
And then like she just disintegrated them all, and that was pretty much it.
And there was a part where one alien, was it wood? Like it went through her.
He stabbed her.
Stabbed her from the back, and it did nothing. Like Jean didn't even die.
Yeah. And then that was
And then Smith comes in. They talk, and then they were like, Jean was again trying to give the power to her.
Yeah.
But when she
want the power, take it.
Yeah. Because Smith was even letting go, and he's like, Jean puts the hand back. You want it? You got it.
Cyclops is like, like his hand is. Yeah,
when the transfer was going on, the force field was all over the place, and then Cyclops' hands were starting to melt or something.
He was starting to disintegrate.
Yeah, so she was seeing what's gonna happen if she gives this power to this girl.
Yeah.
So she's like, nah, I'll keep it. I'm keeping these
powers. She grabs her
and flies up
to space,
blows her up in
destroys
space.
her, and then
does her Phoenix role.
What I really wanted to see, she turns into Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, she's
the
like
actual full bird.
Yeah, that's what I was telling.
That's what I was waiting for.
How comic people want to happen. So, and then it fast forwards. The school becomes Jean Grey's school.
Yeah, they made it Jean. Yeah.
Hank becomes the headmaster. Professor X is vacationing. Magneto's wanting to play
chess. Didn't Magneto say he was retiring?
They were all retiring.
Yeah.
They just want to play chess.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
I guess this is how it goes to the first part. Remember the first part? They were so old and still playing chess.
Yeah. And I always wondered, like, why were the X-Men kids for so long? You know, it's all these movies where they were kids. But you know, I guess they had to change it up.
Yeah.
But good movie, good action. I'm a little on the fence about the story. She did mention, you know, where the Dark Phoenix came from and how it came to be and everything. But I mean, like, what do you think of the X-Men movies, like, as a whole?
I like X-Men movies, but it could have had more action, I guess.
Yeah.
I always like X-Men no matter what.
Some people like the Deadpool movies.
Oh, I don't
better,
like the
but
I'm sorry.
Funny thing is, the X-Men are in the same Marvel universe as the Avengers, but they never helped the Avengers. Like, you know, Thanos was like destroying everything.
I read a
Why didn't the X-Men help the Avengers?
I read some review saying, you know, Scarlet the Witch?
Yeah.
Her dad is supposed to be Magneto.
Oh.
But in the story in the Avengers, they make them orphans, so they get that part, the connection between the X-Men and Avengers already cut off there.
Yeah.
Then in the comics, Scarlet Witch, also one of the strongest, they say, in Marvels, she switched off all the mutants. How? She just says, no more mutants. And it swipes all the mutants, even her dad, in the comic book. So if she is together with the X-Men, I think, because there's just too many powerful characters the writer is going to be all over.
Yeah, they're going to have more movies pretty soon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So,
I'm still going to watch X-Men.
I got my homework. I got to do more research because...
But there's so many bad reviews with this X-Men.
Didn't do too good, but, you know.
I like it. I mean, I extremely like the John Wick 3. This one I like. John Wick, yeah. Endgame, I guess it's in the same level as Endgame, I'm sorry. John Wick is right here for me.
Right.
The action was,
right.
You could see how much training they went through just for that movie.
Yeah.
Because with this Avengers and X-Men, they're more on power, so. Right. And John Wick's like.
So good movie. You know.
Don't believe in the reviews. It's good.
I mean, just go watch it.
It's still worth.
Try it out yourself.
It's still worth your money. Watch it, guys.
If you're an X-Men fan and you want to see
X-Men,
the last of you know, the Dark Phoenix saga or whatever it was, you know, just, you know, give it a try.
Yeah. And then she's just flying around, roaming around Earth. I guess she's probably saving
I guess she's just like the Dark Phoenix now, like flying around space.
Yeah, probably saving it from more aliens.
Yeah.
Jeez, these aliens were so powerful, gosh.
That's all I have. I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything. It said 2 hours. It didn't feel like 2 hours though. It felt like I was sitting here for like an hour, maybe.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just about covered it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this was X-Men Dark Phoenix.
X-Men Dark Phoenix. Let us know what you think down into the comments. We're going to have some more movies coming up pretty soon. I want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And we will catch you on the next one. Peace.